What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Witch Watch, this time with episode 17. Yep, episode 17. It was another good episode last time out. Oh god, yeah, the last episode I watched was ridiculously quiet. No idea what to expect today. Oh, we got a Saw reference, perhaps. Yeah, no idea what to expect today. It did sound quite good though, from what I remember, from the titles of the 4 stories we're covering. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. Yeah, I do it. I'm not. I got. I pausing very quickly here, but I've got to say, Saw was one of my first ever. I remember it being in my old house when I was maybe like 10 or 11. One of the first horror movies I really sat down and watched fully, and it was on YouTube, the old YouTube. I watched it in, I think it was 8 or 9 parts, and there was a part missing. I think it was like a part 3 or 4 missing. Yeah, I watched it in like 10-minute parts on YouTube, and it really it didn't like massively terrify me, but as a kid it was quite scary. That was about the same time I watched one of my first ever anime, in Death Note, as well. In I watched the dub version of it, but one of the things that wasn't like Pokemon or Digimon or one kind of more aimed at kids, first kind of sign and type of one was Death Note, and then from then it was years till I watched another anime. But yeah, I vividly remember that because I would just sit in the middle of my room just with my laptop, just watching the parts of Saw back when you could upload stuff like that on YouTube. So yeah, instantly recognizable kind of setting here. I mean, I don't think this is exactly. This kind of looks like the basement a little bit from Saw 2, with like the furnace where the guy kind of goes in there and gets burnt. But it doesn't actually look too much like a Saw setting. It's just it has that vibe, doesn't it? It goes without saying, I've seen all the movies, even the not so good ones later on. Although the most recent one was really good. So yeah, I just had to tell that. Like I said, it's really nostalgic for me. Saw, just because of how I watched it, how young I watched it as well. Like when you watch it now as an adult, it's a bit more like, oh, you know what, the acting is actually not very good here at all, and the plot is actually a little bit dodgy, and yeah, many more flaws. But when I was a kid, it was just like, damn, this shit's terrifying. It's not even that you see anything, just like the implication of there just like being a saw there to like saw your leg off and such. That was like, that really got you. But it's really annoying because motherfuckers, I'm not the biggest fan of the Saw franchise, but motherfuckers always talking about how people look like Jigsaw when they're actually talking about Billy the puppet, who we just saw there. It's like, that's not fucking Jigsaw. Jigsaw is the old man. The puppet is Billy the puppet. I just, it gets me a little bit when people say it's like, have you watched the movies? If you've actually watched any of the movies, you'd know that. I love Jigsaw though. I love his actor. I think he's fucking awesome. He makes those movies, in my opinion. I think the last one, probably one of the best, and that really, it was a good example of that, of just how good an actor he is in that role. And it's an incredibly interesting character as well. Like I said, with the worst of sequels like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, um, it did kind of ruin his character a little bit in terms of. I mean, it was always a bit questionable in his philosophies, but they did just start creating traps to just like kill people in the coolest ways rather than actually being tests and such. I try not to go on too much about Saw, but I could talk a lot about Saw. Also, good news. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure I recently heard that the original creator, who is awesome by the way, he has the rights back from to the series now. James Wan, I think his name is. Apophis. I know that one from Yu-Gi-Oh. I know that one from Shin Megami Tensei. And I think everybody knows what Python is. Never heard of that Iliac thing though. Well, this seems quite easy just to roll what you want, right? I've got to say, there's a severe lack of traps here. And it is actually a game. I guess the masks are meant to be like the handcuffs, the original saw or something. Yeah, this is a long. This is how all board games are, to be honest. Long ass explanation. See, I just like I don't play too many board games or anything, but in stuff like this, it is best just to just play and feel it out. I'm currently playing Persona 2, and it's similar thing like that. It's like it's very different from the rest of the Persona games I've played. So just play it, and I'll figure out the stuff later. Or Kanji's about to get eaten. Arr. Eat him. You're Got done by our RNG, bro. Unlucky. That is a bad design. Being able to get out before you even have a turn. You should have at least put them like at more than 6 spaces apart, which is possible looking at it. That's a good point. I think that's something that the later sequels have saw done. They forgot about logic and writing and just went for pure chaos and fun with a fucking Hoffmanator. That fucking guy. Oh, okay. So improve the game before we start playing it again. Like I said, I feel like all you need to really do is just put them enough apart that they don't get eaten or they get a chance. I also feel like it's way too easy to roll whatever number you want. So I think Ouroboros represents like infinity, right? As well as other things. It wasn't actually too long ago I was looking up the meaning towards it, to be honest. Can't remember why, but I was just looking up what does the Ouroboros represent? This poor guy making these games. Anything goes now. This poor guy. He's getting absolutely smoked in designing the game. Honestly, I think he might have over-designed this. I've added a bit too much. I don't think so. I think it had a good premise initially, and I shouldn't have changed it too much. Oh shit. Jigsaw and his piggies could have. Yeah, that did kind of look like him. His hair from the back. I did know it didn't have the blonde part, so I didn't think it was him, but it did kind of look similar. Is that something you go viral? Wait, you probably would go viral, but you would also probably be in prison while going viral, so not the best idea. Oh, I did go viral though. Maybe that's even better. I failed at trying to make my friends go in a death game. I guess the intent was still there though, so you probably still would get arrested, right? Okay, student council. That was fun little first segment, wasn't it? Didn't have the traps. The traps are the best parts of Saw, really. I mean, the good traps, as I said. Like so later on, the traps just got way too over the top. There was some really good ones, like the I really like the spinning kind of carousel with a shotgun. It was probably the most. You could say it was bullshit, but I just like the implication of the boss of the insurance place having to choose his own employees to kill. That was really one of the most interesting ones in those movies for since like the third or the second movie. So I don't know about you guys, but I always used to love having a pencil about like that big. Felt quite comfortable. I It makes sense. Oh, another thing I was really weirdly looking up recently as well: long nails. People with long nails. Apparently, they're horribly they got horrible hygiene if your nails are super long. I have experience. Yeah, also they just look fucking gross. Super long nails. Not sure who he's trying to be. Yeah, is he Freddy Krueger or is he yeah. He looks like a cute yokai from Natsume. He does. Ah, speak of the devils. I think the hairy guy looks more like a yokai. He kind of looks like he's wrapped. His head is like on top of a turd. So I mean, you do see this in like African tribes and stuff, don't you? They like put stuff like in their ears, on their head to change how they're kind of formed and how they look. So they have like these rocks that they put in their mouth to have their lips like down here and stuff. So you could probably get away with going to Africa and being in a tribe or something, can't you? This one, I think you're gonna. I think you're gonna have to do the boner technique for uh for the student council president right here. If if you're a woman, if you don't know what the boner technique is, it's just if you have one, just pop it up in your trouser bit and it looks like it's gone away. So he's gonna have to wrap his arm around his whole body under his suit and try not to make it stand out. Seems like it's gonna be very tough. Alternatively, he could go even further in what I just said and maybe put it down his leg pants and make it look like he's got a huge. Yeah, I'm sure plenty of people probably would do that, but these aren't impossible to. I mean, Kanchi, we're not in an African tribe, so he does very much stand out, but it's not impossible to get past all this, is it? 1450. I feel bad for Morihito, to be honest with you. I'd hate to have fingernails that long. It's like you couldn't do anything. He's probably got the easiest one to deal with, though, right? Just cut them off. I also did hear if they do go long enough, they actually start pushing into your hand, so your fingers get fucked up as well because of the pressure pushing in. Like our nails like go like this. If they go super long, they get pushed in to your hand like that and be ingrown and disgusting. Yeah, that's essentially kind of what I said, but not quite as good. You need a bigger you need like a birthday sash that goes all the way around or something. Why is he still posed like this? Why do I recognize this? I think this is the pose from the woman in like the world record book, right? Waist twitch. Okay. Got away with that pretty well. We really are like the freak Avengers here, aren't we? Pretty ingenious. And it still looks pretty funky, but that does a good job actually. So it was like hypertension, huh? And actually, he could get away with looking like a coat or something. Oh, how's KO gonna be any help? That man can't see a thing. Well, it actually kind of does. Hair is a very strong thing, actually. Hair is very strong. Oh no. Cool, that would have been awful. You survive that and then you fucking get hit by a random hammer. A student council president. The craziest of them all. The biggest deal of them all. In anime logic, anyway. Yeah, what are they here? Less so talking about the vampire, also the girls. Oof. Oh, she's got fucking chopstick teeth. I love how Kanji's the only one that actually got done twice there. Also, his chin kind of reminds me a little bit of that gif of Quentin Tarantino, where he's like, he turns and he smiles a little bit. I love that gif. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Fun episode today. Guys know I love my horror, so awesome little like Saw reference. Even if it wasn't actually much like Saw, they hardly ever actually played a game like that. I think the closest thing probably was the 5th Saw, which is also one of my least favourites. Had a cool concept, really cool concept, especially when it came out. But I guess the second one a little bit as well, less so, but yeah. Yeah, love that little reference there. Fun little end segment here as well. I do think though, as I mentioned, it does when you have like a boring game, you add a few rules to it and it gets fun, but sometimes you can like over design things like that. Sometimes I do think there's so many like complex mechanics and such in games nowadays. Sometimes something a bit more simple is actually more kind of called for. I think a lot of like Game of the Years and such have proven that recently. It's like a couple really interesting mechanics is a lot more interesting than loads of useless options and such. Mad Dale. Old Usopp. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, really good episode today. The first section especially was really fun. Initially anyway, I did get to a bit like, oh, well, we're just planning a game at this point. So kind of made up game. But yeah, fun episode. We're dealing with these issues. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure what Otogi's referencing here. I do think from what I think it was like the 2010s kind of world record books I had, and I remember seeing they like a woman kind of like posing like this with a really dirty ass, long ass, disgusting fingernails. But it also does look like it could be like a Wolverine or a Freddy Krueger or something. I feel like I've also seen it in like a zombie movie, strangely enough, like maybe a Return of the Living Dead like 2 or 3 or something, but like I can't exactly remember. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Do let me know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with these weekly reactions. And I'll be back next week with episode 18.